All right. Throwing a little old school up here as I am celebrating my 52nd birthday today. I had planned to do a baseball game, but I ran out. I got lunch. I came back here and I sat down in my office chair, which is completely comfortable. Thank you, Jody baby, for finding me this chair. And the next thing I knew, my daughter's waking me up. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things, but I want you guys to be the stars of the show. So you guys can drop me a question about any and everything. Uh nothing's off the table. And Adric and Sick Diggy are the first ones in here. Welcome to both of you. I had a good turnout last night on both of my channels when I did the Astros Mariners game, a game in which the Astros won 4-2. And they're trailing today 2-1. But I've had people tell me that they want to ask me questions about anything. So bring it on. I will be here for a little while. But we're going to get started with a little something called the WNBA. And the reason I'm going to start there is because, in my opinion, Team USA for the women got exposed. Now, will this be true when, well, I got a question here. What joke, if any, has ever made you laugh the hardest in your life? Sick Diggy, I back it up with this question. From my dad or from my wife and family? Because I got answers for both sides. Um, what joke from has made me laugh the hardest in my life? You know what? As far as my dad goes, it was a series of them. Because dad and I were talking baseball one day. Okay, thank you, Sick. Dad and I were talking baseball one day. And we got to talking about the race in the National League East between the New York Mets and the St. Louis Cardinals. And those of you who know me and have heard me do my show for the past 13 years know that my first favorite team was the St. Louis Cardinals. So my mother got involved in the conversation, talking all things Mets. And then all of a sudden I hear my dad go, but what about St. Louis? And I lost it. I was laughing so hard my stomach would hurt. Now, mind you, it was a race at the time between the Mets and the Cardinals. My dad got me into baseball. My mom was a bit of a baseball savant. But all dad had to say was, what about St. Louis? And we're all losing control, laughing. That's one part of it. From my wife, pick one. Y'all know the joke she's made with me. But in all seriousness, it's a tie between her hearing me do a play-by-play sequence and then her sneaking up behind me going, nuh-uh, to the 5 rules of the house. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the joking nature of me and Jody, the first rule is the wife is always right. The second rule, in her words, you have the penis, therefore you are wrong. Therefore, it's your fault, basically. 3 through 5 go, the dog's an idiot, chocolate fixes everything, and the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I try to bend all those rules. I don't get away with it, but I try to bend it. I'm doing this stream, folks, to have fun on my birthday and to try to get some help for me and my family. So if you like what you hear, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also do me a favor, hit the Cash App and the Super Chat if you can. Will you broadcast any games on YouTube from being at the game in person this fall? Yes. Yes. It just depends on the school that responds and allows me permission to do so. 2 years ago, I did a couple, but it was, excuse me, it was an incomplete season as my illness flared up during a doubleheader one night to the point of tears. I was in so much pain. I was in so much pain. So that happened. And that was that. Yeah, that's it. But I will be doing games this fall, and I will be live in the booth, and I'll be back to doing what I love to do. Did you get anything for your birthday? I got some time with my family. I got a phone call from my daughter. How's your health at the moment? Health is good. I have an MRI Wednesday. Let me put this up here. Right there. My health is good. My health is good. Only thing I'm trying to figure out, and it's an important thing, is my sleep schedule. Because when I take my daughter to work and I come back, it's usually after midnight. And I want to be sure I get a good night's sleep in. Excuse me. I want to be sure I get a good night's sleep in before the day starts the next day. And I want to be sure that I am at full strength, because there have been times that I haven't been at full strength, to be perfectly honest with you. And I know part of the reason is, I'm going to hear a sound here in a minute. There we go. Part of the reason I haven't been at full strength is lack of sleep. Lack of sleep. And I'm trying to change that. I'm also trying to change is the ways in which to help my family, because anyone who knows me or knows of me knows that is my number one priority, and it will always be my number one priority. Share this with your friends. Let's see if we can get some more people in here and start chatting it up, and drop your questions in the chat, because it's an Ask Snowman Anything. David Rich is in the house. What's up, David? What's your question for me? Because this is an Ask Snowman Anything episode, and everything is on the table. Whatever you want to know about me, whatever you want to know about what I do, or whatever, bring it on. Bring it on. And not only am I doing this because it's my birthday, I'm doing this because a few people said, or let me change my sentence. A few people believe that I'm not this open. I'm not as open as y'all think I am. What's your favorite food? Okay, where do I start with this question? I just had some earlier, which is pizza. I am a chocoholic to my heart. But whenever my wife fixes salmon, a salmon meal, I devour it. I devour it. Thanks for the question. So, how exactly is the U.S. women's basketball team exposed? I don't know. Quite honestly, I just got this funny feeling, and I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong. Did you watch the WNBA All-Star game last night? And if so, what's your take on it? Didn't watch it. Don't have a take. I just got this funny feeling that Team USA got exposed by the WNBA All-Stars. I believe to be wrong with that. There's an expansion coming with the WNBA with the $2.2 billion media rights package they just got over the next 11 years. Do you follow wrestling? I did once upon a time. I did once upon a time. Share this with your friends, and if you can, please, folks, help the Snowman and his family out with the Cash App. I truly appreciate your help because um I want to help my family more than anything else. Who's your favorite, David? Who's your favorite wrestler? And back to Danny, who's your favorite WNBA player, either right now or all time? Thanks for the birthday wish, David. I appreciate it. Best NFL team radio announcers to listen to today. Um, hmm. Well, it'll be a biased answer or answers because I love listening to them all. Bob Papa for the Giants is one of the best. I love listening to Wayne Larrivee, even though he is the voice of the Green Bay Packers. I love listening to him, and I've loved listening to Wayne Larrivee for many years. But I would have to say it's a tie between Greg Papa from the 49ers and Mitch Holthus from Kansas City. I would have to say it's a tie there. David Rush as AJ Styles. I got a few favorite wrestlers. I got quite a few favorite wrestlers. Happy birthday, Snowman. What do you think happens with Brandon Ayuk? Will he be a 49er commander or join another squad? Brandon Ayuk will stay. They're going to make him an offer that he can't refuse. And it's the same thing that happened to Deebo Samuel 4 years ago. Because the rumors were flying around that he would go home to Carolina because, of course, he played at South Carolina, or he would join the Pittsburgh Steelers or anything like that. Anything like that. So, yeah, I think he stays put and he couples it with a super sticker. I appreciate that. Hawk TV, I'll go ahead and put this out here. If you can couple it with a Cash App so I can help my family, that would be appreciated also. Asia Wilson, yeah, she is the unanimous MVP. She is the unanimous MVP. Thoughts on Biden dropping out the race? It was time. There was so much coming out about him, about his health, and so much speculation that it got to the point where it was like, you know what? I better drop now and keep the heat off of me. And I will say I am not the most political person in the world. I will say that, but my initial thought is it was about time for him to drop out. It was time for him to not accept the nomination. I beg your pardon, nomination. What's your favorite Disney movie? The Lion King. I can't tell you why. I can't tell you what drove me to listen to that. Well, yes, I can. Because of a couple of the voice actors whose voices I can imitate, and a couple of the cartoon characters whose voices I can imitate. Sensei Drew says, happy birthday, Snowman. Thank you, Drew. I appreciate it. You are tearing it up with D. Willie in the evening and also Total Football Talk. I am a total fan of your stuff, and I appreciate you. If I don't tell you brothers enough, I appreciate y'all, especially this man right here. Especially this man right here. Thank you for the birthday wish. I appreciate it. Drop your questions in the chat, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. And who's your favorite character from The Lion King? Pumbaa. A lot of people. Well, actually, my wife compares me sometimes to Mufasa, but I know I'm a goofball like Pumbaa is. So I'm more like Pumbaa than Mufasa, although in some cases I can combine them both. Do you know why there wasn't a Lady and the Tramp 3? No. No. I do not know. For West Coast games, do you watch them on DVR, watch the highlights, and or just try to stay awake? David, I'm full of caffeine. All right. It depends on who's playing. If it's someone I'm interested in, I'll stay up. And my wife knows this. But if it's someone I'm not interested in, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. But most of the West Coast games, I either try to watch them live or catch the highlights and make my analysis from there. Since you're Pumbaa, would that make Victor Lock Timon? Probably. Probably. Here in the house, I'm Pumbaa, and not only is Victor Timon, but my son is as well. My wife is Sarabi, and I am Mufasa. My grandkids, I don't know which characters they are. I don't know which characters my grandkids would be. And of course, the great James Earl Jones voiced Mufasa. David Rich, is James Earl Jones still alive? Yes, he is 93 years old. He is 93 years old and still lending his voice. The first time I got to know about James Earl Jones was Star Wars. The original voice of Darth Vader. Then I got to know about his voice work. Then I got to know about Morgan Freeman's voice work. And if there is a voice actor that I love even more than James Earl Jones, it would be the great Mel Blanc, who voiced the Looney Tunes. It would be Mel Blanc. But yeah, James Earl Jones is still alive and kicking. Come out of retirement. How do you want me to come out of retirement, Drew? How do you want me to come out of retirement? If you're referring to me, you may be referring to somebody else. I don't know. Just asking for clarification. Your best Robin Williams movie. There's only one Robin Williams movie for me, and that was Good Morning Vietnam. In fact, I borrowed how I opened the show from Good Morning Vietnam. When I first saw that first DJ routine that he did in Good Morning Vietnam, that sold it for me. That sold it. Charm City's in the house. What's going on, man? Charm City Direct TV, maybe another carrier of Snowman in the morning and some play-by-play work. I don't know. We are talking about it. Kenneth Clark's in the house. Happy birthday to you, Snowman. Thank you, Kenneth. I appreciate it. Mel Blanc was a stinker. Yeah, but he was funnier than hell. Yeah, but he was funny. I loved Mel Blanc. And the day I found out he passed, in an article in USA Today, I was in summer school at the time. And I cried. I cried when Mel Blanc passed. At the time, I didn't know why I was in a pool full of tears. But at that time, I meant stinker in a good way. I know you did, Sick. You know you stinky. I know you meant it in a good way, Sick. I know you did. Flubber is another great one as I catch up with Robin Williams movie Flubber. Loved Flubber. But for me, it will always be Good Morning Vietnam. Because not only do you get to see the silliness, you get to see the seriousness and his range. But we know Robin Williams is just a fool. Was just a fool anyway. God bless you. And you know what's strange? You know what's strange? Robin Williams and I share something. He also was born on July 21st. I didn't realize that until someone told me. Thoughts on Bugs Bunny? What's up, Jack? I love Bugs. I love Bugs. I got so many Bugs Bunny cartoons on my computer, it's not even funny. And Charm City says, yes, bring it. All right, you're on. We'll talk off the air. But Bugs Bunny is my favorite cartoon character. And y'all know I love the Looney Tunes, but if I got to pick one, it would be Bugs Bunny. Yeah, happy birthday, Robin Williams, as well. I didn't realize he and I shared a birthday until someone told me. So I'm gonna be answering you guys' questions, but also working on a few things. So this is a multitasking stream as well. Loved him and Morgan. Man, I swear to you, in Mork and Mindy, they did not have any scripts. I swear to you, when Robin Williams showed up, there was no script. It was, they lay it out like, this is the situation, you take it from there. That's how I feel. It was, this is the situation, you take it from there. Man, I could not get enough of Robin Williams. I could not get enough of Robin Williams. I got a text message. Who is my favorite all-time play-by-play announcer? Jim Durham. And this is from a friend of mine in Chicago that's tuning in while driving. Jim Durham is the reason I got into play-by-play broadcasting. Because I heard him call a game for the first time in 1985. And that was that. That was my guy. Him, and then next year, they started doing the simulcast with he and Johnny Red Kerr. And after I got introduced to Johnny Red Kerr and Jim Durham, that was my announce team. But back to Robin Williams. Thoughts on Michael Jordan? He's the king. Let me put this up here. David Rich says, thoughts on Michael Jordan? He's the king. My first ever favorite player was Julius Erving. My first ever favorite player was Julius Erving. And then my mom got me hooked on watching Magic Johnson. Then I love Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and his skyhook. The most indefensible shot ever because of a dunking rule. Because of a dunking rule, he had to develop a shot, and he developed the most indefensible shot ever. Michael has the second most indefensible shot, being the fadeaway. Being the fadeaway. You can't defend either of those shots. You can try, but you'll fail. How did Michael Jordan get casted for Space Jam? David Falk, his agent. I mean, who else could play that character that well? And don't get me started on Space Jam 2. Dear Lord in heaven, no. No, and no. No. I mean, Michael Jordan made it work. And then you add the Looney Tunes in there. What can you do? I went to see it The first 2 nights it came out, November of 1996. November of 1996. When it first came out in theater and came out in theaters, I went to see it both nights. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. Thoughts on Kermit the Frog? You know what? Kermit's one of the reasons I would watch Sesame Street. Hi ho, Kermit the Frog here. And all the stuff that he and Grover used to do to demonstrate things. It would he's one of the reasons I got hooked on Sesame Street. Kermit the Frog. The other reason, Cookie Monster. Third reason, Ernie and Bert. Ernie and Bert. Because I love how Ernie would prank Bert all the time. Favorite sport video games. That's not fair, David. NES baseball. I played a couple of football games, but I can't remember the names. I played them in the arcade. There was a game late in the late 80s, early 90s called Cyberball. I want y'all to look that up. It's football. Oh, hell. The best way I can describe it's football reimagined. And you're right, Sig. I loved Grover when he was the door-to-door salesman. And he would always have Kermit on his sales calls. Always. To demonstrate sunglasses or nose covers or whatever. He stuck ears on him one time to demonstrate earmuffs. He leaned in and screamed in his ear, "That will be $7." Like, where you get out of here? I like that. I like the old school Sesame Street. He would get the fat blue guy mad. That would be Harry. He would always find a way to piss off Harry. And Harry would chase him all around. He always messed with Harry. He messed with Kermit. He messed with Harry. There were a couple other people. There were a couple other characters he always messed with. What are some of you guys' favorite cartoon characters? Even though this is Ask Snowman Anything, let me ask some of the same questions to you guys. What are you guys' favorite cartoon characters or favorite Sesame Street characters? Thoughts on Forgetful Jones? Man, Forgetful Jones had me cracking up laughing. Because he would forget the most basic things. He'd forget the most basic things. And sometimes I'm Forgetful Jones, quite honestly. Sometimes I'm Forgetful Jones, especially after everything that's happened in the last 3 years. Especially after everything that's happened in the last 3 years. I remember Buster the Horse and Gladys the Cow. Yep. There was a skit. Had to take a sip of water. And thanks to E-Digger for the first Cash App of the night. My younger brothers always remind me of Telly and Elmo. Man, there were so many people in my neighborhood that reminded me of those too. I do remember Buster the Horse. I do remember Gladys the Cow. There was a skit involving Gladys that, let me think. There was a skit involving Gladys and Marv Albert was involved. I think they were trying to enact the poem, "Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon," and then she would have jumped under the moon. She would not. She would be close but couldn't reach the moon. And Marv Albert was there to call it. RC's in the house with us. Dennis the Menace, Jughead from Archie, the Peanuts. Oh yeah, love the Peanuts. Love the Peanuts. Darkwing Duck and Batman. Which version? Which version of Batman? Do you remember Rocky and Bullwinkle? Do I remember Rocky and Bullwinkle? And now, hey Rookie, watch me pull a rabbit out of the hat. But that trick never worked. This time for sure. Bristol! And something strange would always come out of the hat. Man, Rocky and Bullwinkle made my Sundays. You know who else made my Sundays? Y'all remember George of the Jungle? I certainly do. I certainly remember George of the Jungle. They would come on at a certain time. I remember in a movie skit, Kermit wanted Forgetful to go through the door. He went under it. Kermit got mad at it. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And he was supposed to yell the line, "Everybody freeze." He went under the door. He went around the door yelling, "Everybody freeze." He went over the door yelling, "Everybody freeze." And when he finally went through the door, he forgot his line. He finally went through the door and forgot his line. Instead of saying "Everybody freeze," he says "Everybody frolic." And Kermit, being the professional that he was, ran with it. Ren and Stimpy helped me delve into my own psychosis. How so, man? How so? What is it, man? Is one of my favorite greetings that I use on my family. Although it's got to be the right time because I never want to sound mean to them. I never want to sound mean to them. How could I forget Tom and Jerry? Man, look, Tom and Jerry made my afternoons. Okay, Tom and Jerry used to, when I went to school, Tom and Jerry would be on in the mornings. But then, who was the voice of Forgetful Jones? I think it was Jim Henson. I believe it was Jim Henson who voiced Forgetful Jones. I'm grown as hell, and Snowman, I still watch The Simpsons. I got you beat. I'm grown as hell, and I still watch Looney Tunes. I'm celebrating being 52 today. I'm celebrating being 52, and I still watch Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry and Scooby Doo. I got a Scooby Doo shirt that my wife got me. I have a Scooby Doo shirt. My favorite Forgetful Jones scene was when it was a baseball game where he was at bat but forgot to grab his bat. First it was Hat, then it was Matt. He did get a bat. He did hit a home run, but he didn't track the bases. So he wound up being out. And I asked one time, how can you forget to run the bases when you hit the ball out? But then I remembered it was Forgetful Jones. Geez, how many Forgetful Jones scenes do I remember? I remember a lot of them. I just can't describe them. I just can't describe them right now. What about Garfield? Garfield was nice. Garfield was nice, especially in the late 80s. Garfield was cool. Actually, instead of running the bases, he sang Homer on the Range. Yeah, he did. He did. On the show, what was Gordon's job? I don't know. I don't know. Who remembers Heathcliff the cat? Oh boy. Do I ever remember Heathcliff? Who are some of your favorite comedians? Robin Williams, Louis Black, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Bill Cosby, Eddie Murphy. Those are all. Those are it. Those are my old Red Fox. Loved Red Fox. And yeah, I remember Heathcliff. Heathcliff was one of those afternoon. When I was in high school, Heathcliff was one of those afternoon cartoons. Y'all remember Garfield and Friends? You remember that cartoon? Thoughts on Snuffy. I never thought he would I never thought he would shucks. Sorry. He would be seen. Because they would get so close to seeing him. I bet you don't remember DuckTales. Oh, yes, I do. I didn't watch it much, but I remember it. I definitely remember DuckTales. Couldn't get enough. Once upon a time, couldn't get enough of DuckTales, especially when I moved to North Carolina the first time. First time I ever moved to North Carolina. Oh, are you kidding me? Dag nabbit. First time I ever moved to North Carolina, I was watching DuckTales. Oh, okay. That's why. That's why. Let me try another one. I'm trying to get the sound for one of the openings to Garfield and Friends. The Roadrunner. Oh, yeah. My best Donald Duck cartoon. My best Donald Duck cartoon. It would have to be. Shucks, I can't think of one. It would have to be when he had to hold his temper to his girlfriend Daisy kept asking him to hold his temper, so he went through this crash course on holding his temper. And when something didn't go right, it wasn't Daffy that went off, it was Daisy that went completely off. It was Daisy that went nuts. Yeah, I remember Woody Woodpecker. I remember him. I remember Woody Woodpecker quite well. You know, it's crazy. I have a few of those cartoons on also on my computer. Like anger management, yes. Just like anger management. You know, as back in the day, growing up, as mad as I could get, I never had to go to anger management. I always found a way to control my anger. Now, granted, most times it took a bat, an open field, and about 200,000 baseballs, but it happens. Who we got here? Thoughts on Roger Rabbit? I thought it was a cool movie. I thought it was a cool movie. What was your favorite breakfast cereal? Given the fact that I eat a lot of them, any of them today. But it would have to be back then. Shucks. I can't pick one. I can tell you a cereal I hated, which was cornflakes. And my mother used to stock up on cornflakes. Found out why later on in life, because the other cereals were expensive as hell. Didn't know that at the time because I didn't see Fruit Loops or Apple Jacks or anything like that. So I dumped a whole lot of sugar on a bowl of cornflakes and called it a day. Mickey's gaming table is in the house. I have a question. How the heck are you? I'm good, man. And it's good to see you also. And yes, batting cage therapy or free throw therapy or pitching cage therapy or Super Mario therapy, doggone it. Thoughts on Elmer Fudd? He was the perfect foil for Bugs. Because no matter what he tried, he could never catch him. No matter what he tried, he could never catch Bugs. Favorite superheroes, you can only choose 2. Well, I'm about to break that rule because I got 3 of them. I won't name them, but I got 3 of them. Oh, y'all are making this fun. Let's keep this interactive. I got another 20 minutes. Yeah, I can hang around for another 20 minutes and then got to get some things straight for my show tomorrow. I'll be flying solo most of the week next week as the big dog has to deal with a computer issue and Victor would not be available until after Wednesday. So I will be flying solo, and that's why I'm getting everything together. Hey, the Playmaker sent me a birthday wish. Thank you, Playmaker. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, you guys have shown a lot of love on my birthday, and I appreciate every one of you. I appreciate and I love every one of you. And Play by Play with JJ is here. What's up, man? Thoughts on Foghorn Leghorn. Now, what's that? I say, now, what's that boy up to? Better check on it. Yeah. You know what's funny? Every time I did that voice, my little daughter, Donna, would be so excited to hear that voice. So that was her favorite character. Thoughts on yesterday's All-Star game? Didn't watch. And Caitlin only scored 4 points. Listen, I'm waiting for Indiana to race all the way back and take the second seed in the East. After the loss to Dallas, they should be pissed off enough to run the table the remainder of the season. I'm calling it. I'm calling it right now. JJ, how was your game today? I didn't get a chance to listen because I was just, lounging around and enjoying my birthday. But you guys have sent me a ton of birthday wishes, whether it be on Facebook, whether it be on YouTube, and I appreciate every one of you guys. I appreciate every one of you guys. Thoughts on Daffy Duck? Let me see. Let me move this over here. I'm working with 2 monitors. That's why you'll hear me say something strange like that. Where is it? Where is it? My thoughts on Daffy Duck. The guy who the cartoon character who always says, "You're despicable." I told you he's part of Looney Tunes, and I love it. They avoided the sweep, so that's nice. Yeah, I'm about ready to drive, so I can't text and drive. Thoughts on your performance last night? I got a ways to go. I got to the 7th inning, and then something happened here in the house, and I clearly got distracted. I clearly got distracted. I'm not distracted today, but I didn't want to disappoint the fans and do another half-assed effort. So that's why I didn't do the game today. I'm going to give myself a test run on Wednesday because it's an afternoon game and I can get it done. And then my wife comes in and we can relax for the remainder of the night. Favorite pizza place? Giordano's, Chicago. They got the biggest damn slice of pizza. Julio is hurt. Julio Rodriguez? What happened? I'm just tuning in. It's the top of the sixth. It's 3-2 Mariners. Maybe that was the delay. So Alvarez tripled, got a run home. There's 2 outs in the inning. Slammed into the wall and exited the game. Oh, no. Oh, no. And I love Julio Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez is a dog. He can play the game. He absolutely can play the game. Julio, I hope you are okay, man. You're only as young as you feel. Yeah. Some days I feel every bit of my 52, and some days I feel like I'm 10 years old running around all over the place. Thoughts on Tweety Bird? That's one voice I can no longer copy because of the range of my voice has exited. I can try, but it would hurt. He Ken Griffey Jr. himself. Oh, man. I remember that injury with Ken Griffey Jr. Hey, JJ, I got a question for you. Who is your favorite baseball player of all time? Jammed his foot. Okay. Which allowed Alvarez to triple. They get a run home, and it's closer at 3-2. I want them to sweep the Mariners. I want the Houston Astros to come back, sweep the Mariners, and leave Seattle 2 games in front in first place. Why? Because everybody else wrote them off, right? Everybody else wrote off the Houston Astros when they got up to that horrible 12-24 start. And they just intentionally walked Yadier Diaz. Thoughts on Outback Steakhouse? Yes, please. The last time I went to Outback, let me think. The last time I went to Outback Steakhouse, Jody and I were in North Carolina. And it was before I had an exam. It was before I had an exam the next day at Duke Cancer Center. I don't have one, he says. My favorite player I've seen is Howard. Man, Ryan Howard can hit him a long way. Ryan Howard can hit them a long way. I've seen it. Los Angeles Dodgers, anyone? First inning, game 4, 2009. The last time I went was last night, and that was for an Uber Eats delivery. The hell with that. Well, I did Uber Eats for a while myself, and I'm trying to get back into it. I did Uber Eats for a while myself, and I had an Outback Steakhouse delivery, and all I will say is that it wasn't fair. It just reminded me of the last time Jody and I went. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and call this and answer you guys' questions. How old is the sport of baseball? That I can't answer. Because the Astros have first and third. There are 2 outs. They're in the top of the 6th. The 0-1, swing and a miss, and the count's 0-2. I may as well do something with this game. I don't have the full setup ready. I will Wednesday. I can't do the games tomorrow and Tuesday because it's a 9:40. It's a 9:40 pitch, and I would only get through the first couple of innings. This is what I need as I do Uber Eats. What is that? What is that? What is it that you need? The 0-2 to McCormick. He struck him out swinging. That's the inning. What is it that you need, JJ? I need play by play. Okay. Okay. I turned on an old game of mine. If that's crazy. I didn't want to put it out here, but thoughts on golf. I thought it was, you know what? My dad tried to get me to play golf. Seriously. He got me a full set and everything. You know what I thought it was? Batting practice. Oh, it was batting practice. Will the Lakers make the playoffs this season? Hell no. Hell no. They will not. I repeat, will not make the playoffs this year. Got any more basketball questions? Throw them down. Throw down anything in the chat. I'll answer them. But in answer to your question, no, I can't. I can't change that. Ah, hell, yes, I can. Yes, I can. But in answer to the question of will the Lakers make the playoffs this season, Bishop Bullwinkle. Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. In case you didn't hear that answer to RC's question of will the Lakers make the playoffs this year, here it is again. Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. There. Hope that answers that. Happy birthday. Thank you, Maggie. Appreciate it. You know, Sick Diggy. You know the clip I was going to play. You know the clip I was going to play. Maggie, you did a fabulous job on your stream earlier today. And I love listening to you. Thoughts on Larry Bird, one of the baddest forwards to ever play. I hated him, but I loved him because of how old school he was in playing the game. Someone, I think it was David who asked me my thoughts on golf. I thought it was baseball practice. Didn't realize how small the ball was. You like what you're hearing? Do me a favor, help the Snowman and his family with a Cash App donation. You see it on your screen, but to verbalize it, it's cash.app/$ tallman Dr. K50. Get some help. Yeah, I needed some help with golf. I got that one set from my dad, and I never got another one again. I played miniature golf. There was one time we had a competition, and we got to the 18th hole, and I shot it like a cue stick. I shot it like a cue stick, and it went in, and I wound up winning. Mexican food, Chinese food, or Italian food? Which one is the best? It's food. Who cares which one it is? It's food. Dang it. It's food. I meant the Lakers need to take the advice from Jordan and get some help. They're not going to. They're not going to. Dag nabbit. And I'm here for it. It's going to be a train wreck. The Lakers season this year and for the next 4 years, at least the next 4 years, is going to be a train wreck. Why? You got a father and son in the organization that's going to tear it to shreds. That's why. That's why. They are more concerned about selling tickets than winning games. They are more concerned about selling tickets than putting a competent team together. They are more concerned about who their star player is than putting a competent team together that will compete. Is JJ happy about Paul George going to the Sixers? Come here. Come here. Is JJ happy about Paul George joining the Sixers? This should answer your question. Woo! Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. One more time. Woo! Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. There. I hope that answers your question. Should Kawhi Leonard retire or take a 6-man role? He should walk away. He should walk. He should walk away. So you can still have your life before you. Let's table the conversation and see if it results in a championship. JJ, I'll save you the trouble. Hell no, it won't result in a championship. There. I saved you the trouble. You really think Paul George is going to contribute something to this team? Hell no. Not a chance in hell. Now watch, JJ's going to yell at me on his morning show tomorrow. But I don't care. Paul George is going to stink up the joint. Thoughts on Frosty? That was one of my original nicknames. And then Snowman came up. And I've been Snowman since. I have been Snowman since, but Frosty was my first nickname. JJ, you were asking Embiid and George to both be healthy when it matters. I'm just saying, you're asking Embiid and George not only to be healthy, but to play basketball when it matters. It's Maxey and Embiid's team. No, it's not. It's Maxey's team. As Maxey goes, so does Philadelphia. The only place Joel Embiid should be doing as far as going is going away. They got to get the job done. Yeah, I hate to tell you this, they won't. Long as Embiid's there. As long as Joel Embiid breathes, the Sixers don't have a chance in hell. Period. Because there's going to be a situation. There's going to be a situation where Embiid is injured and Paul George is injured and the Sixers sink. And they sink. Thoughts on the Hulk Hogan cause? I got no comment whatsoever. I got no words whatsoever. I got no comment whatsoever. None. And I don't want to weigh on it. I don't want to weigh in on it. Don't ask me why. I just don't. Is Klay Thompson going to be enough to help the Mavericks back to the finals, and will they win this time? No and no, because they're going to misuse Klay Thompson. No and no and hell no. Where's my play-by-play as I drive? I didn't know you wanted it. And home run, Seattle. It's now 6-2 in the bottom of the sixth inning. They get 2 outs, Houston does. A bloop single, and then a long one to right field. Well, maybe they got a comeback left in them. All right, JJ. I'll do 7, 8, and 9 for you, as long as I'm here. To answer the question, RC, yes, I'm happy, but I need a chip. Why are you happy, JJ? Why? I want to know something. Why are you happy? Because they're not going to win. Period. They are not going to win a championship as long as Boston exists. End of story. As long as Boston exists, they are not going to win a championship. I didn't know you wanted it. And home run. Yeah, great timing, isn't it? Listen, these Sixers are not Allen Iverson Sixers. These Sixers are not Julius Erving Sixers. They're not going to. You know what? JJ is going to reach through the computer or through the phone in this case and sock me in the mouth. But the Sixers are not even going to make the playoffs as this team is currently constructed. Not a chance. If they make the playoffs, it'll be an absolute miracle. And it'll have to happen on the last day. They're still batting, Seattle is, in the bottom of the sixth. There's a runner aboard and 2 outs. Throw to first, runner back. And I'll do this for the rest of the game. I just know I got to be careful with time because I got to allow myself to get a little bit of rest before I take my daughter to work. What else y'all got in terms of questions? Drop them in the chat. There's a strike and the count's on 1. Heading off, Snowman. Happy birthday! Thank you, David. Thank you, David. If y'all like the chat, because I'm going to head off myself here in a minute. Do me a favor, couple it with a cash app to the address that you see on the screen, because any donation that comes in goes to help not only me, but help my family with groceries and making sure bills stay paid. 1 ball, 1 strike to JP Crawford. Martinez delivers. A swing and a miss, and the count is 1-2. As big as Wemby is, why doesn't he average 28 points and 21 rebounds a night? His minutes. I saw him play. The potential's there. I saw him play. The potential is indeed there for 20 a night. There's just a few things that he has to polish. Runner goes, throw to second, and he is out. They're done with 6-2 Mariners. But yeah, it's just a few things that Wemby has to polish. He has to get stronger. I will say that. He has to get in the weight room and start lifting, because now with him being rookie of the year, there's a big fat target on his back. And they're coming for more. I like Nas Reed more than Cat as a Wolves fan. Am I wrong? No, because Cat's about to ruin them. Again, thank you, Maggie, for the birthday wish. Very much appreciated. Hawk TV slipped us a super sticker earlier in the night. I think I'll do this one inning and see how I'm feeling. But I got to put a full game together to really feel I'm back in it. To really, really feel that I'm back in it. 6-2 Mariners as we go to the top of the 7th. Like I said, I'll do this inning and then I'm probably going to go fall out because I got to get a little bit of a snooze before I take my daughter to work tonight since she works overnights. Another thing I've had, for my body, the other thing I've had problems with like staying stretched out. When I say stretched out, I'm talking about Goodfellas, Heat, or Casino. None of the above. None of the above. Keep the questions coming, folks. Colin Snyder will now be on the pitch. He has a 1.26 ERA. He's got 3 walks, 14 strikeouts, and 14 and a third innings pitched. We go to the top of the 7th. Jeremy Pena leads things off against the right-hander Snyder. And the pitch, a swing at a high fly ball into deep left field. Left fielder going back at the track, at the wall. See you later! Jeremy Pena takes the first pitch of the inning and blasts it out to left, and we got a 3-run game. It's now 6-3. Told you these Astros weren't done. 414 feet to left. That ball hung and it got hurt. How did Ken Harrelson put it? He hung it and he hurt it. Favorite season of the year? I'd say fall. First pitch outside for ball 1 to Jake the Snake Myers, who had a big 2-run homer last night to give the Astros a lead they wouldn't relinquish. The 1-0 is a strike and the count's even 1-1. Yeah, favorite season of the year is fall. It's fall. It's kind of like a perfect mixture of seasons for me. The 1-1 pitch, swing at a foul, and the count's 1-2. Okay, but who wins the AL and NL MVP? Judge and Ohtani? No and no. Nope. To neither one of them. Neither one of them. 1-2 the count. The 1-2 pitch. A swing and a smash foul down the third baseline. You know who wins the American League MVP, JJ? I got a name for you. Yordan Alvarez. You know who wins the National League MVP? Nobody. Because nobody stood out in the National League. That'll get a rise out of him. It's a swing and a foul out of play to the right. Count remains where it is at 1-2. Yordan Alvarez is my American League MVP. My National League MVP, I would have to give a vote to Alec Bohm. 1-2 again. Swing and a miss. And Myers is gone. 1 down in the 7th. First strikeout for Snyder. Why is Ohtani your MVP? Has Ohtani done anything to impress you? Guys, let me ask you that. Has Ohtani done anything with the Dodgers to impress you? My answer, no. One out here in the 7th. And the pitch to John is whacked up the middle for a base hit. That's Trey Cabbage, not John Singleton. 38, not 28. What makes JJ, let me ask you this. What makes Bohm your most valuable player? You've watched the Phillies all year. You've covered them all year. You've covered their history. Excuse me. What makes him the MVP of the National League? And don't be a homer about it either. Mauricio Dubon to the plate. The runner at first and one out, and the ball gets away down the right field line. Making the turn at second and staying there is Singleton. Bohm is clutch. I'm not going to even argue with that. Mauricio Dubon at 280. 3 homers. He's knocked in 30. And you'll see his first pitch right now. It's a strike, and the count's 0-1 right down the middle. Average with runners in scoring position. He has done that for the Phillies this year. Him with runners in scoring position is like you can just automatically at least put 1 in your scorebook. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, and the count's 0-2. Mauricio Dubon hitting 277 with runners in scoring position. And the top of the order, and Jose Altuve would be next. Favorite candy bar. That's a tough one. I got too many of them. The pitch, swing and a miss. And Dubon is gone, 2 down in the inning. He's going to win most improved player. Absolutely. Absolutely, he's going to win most improved player. As Dubon struck out on a bit of a golf swing. And now you got Jose Altuve at the plate. Somehow you want to get this to Alvarez. But if you do get it to Alvarez, you wonder if they're going to walk him intentionally. And Scott Service is going to make a pitching change. He's been the best player on the Phillies. Trey Turner has been ridiculous, and Harper is Harper. But Alec Bohm has been the best player on the Phillies. Should I tell him? Nah. Question: nachos or hot wings? Neither. Must choose? My ass. My stream, my rules. Neither of them. Oh, goodness. I'm watching some of the face of the team is still Bryce. No, the face of your team is a pitcher. You don't like food. I love food. There's just some that I can't have. There's just hot wings I cannot have. I can't have them. I can't have anything hot. It would wreck my body. That's why. There are just some things that I loved once upon a time that I got to pick over in conservation of not only my voice but my body. And hot foods or hot wings always does something to me. And it ain't good. They're showing where Julio Rodriguez jammed his foot. Yeah, it's not that I don't like food. I love food. I have to be careful now. I never thought in my 52 years that I have to be a picky eater, but in some cases I do. Gregory Santos to face Jose Altuve, and he whacks one to third, and it's fair. The long throw is in time, and the inning is over. 1 pitch, 1 out, and that's the inning. They get a run on Jeremy Pena's home run, and it's now 6-3 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. The best thing I have to hope for in order to get a ring is for the Phillies to get one. I don't see a lie in that statement because you're not getting one with the Sixers and you sure as hell ain't getting one with the Eagles. Matter of fact, I'll say this aloud, and a lot of people are not going to agree with me. The Eagles are screwed, and they did it to themselves. The Eagles are flat out screwed. You know why they're screwed? The Eagles are screwed, and people are going to think I'm crazy for saying this, but Jalen Hurts is their quarterback. That's why. And there's no direction in that locker room. There's no vision in that locker room. And Nick Sirianni is still your coach. How do you like them apples? It was a miserable downfall for the Eagles last year, and they did it to themselves. They did not take any kind of notes on how to put away teams. They got lucky for so many of their games, and then San Francisco came into Philadelphia and socked them in the mouth. And as soon as they socked them in the mouth, they fell like a tree. And unless they grow a set and actually think and believe in what they're doing, because you didn't see it when they retired. When Jason Kelce retired, you saw a lot of division in that locker room. I'm worried that the Phillies are going to lose that mojo. You know which team will make them lose that mojo? The Atlanta Braves. I've seen crazier things happen. And they're the closest thing I have to a ring. Yeah, but they got to get the job done. They got to get the job done. And that's that. You can have the best regular season ever. But what the hell do you do come postseason time and you choke in the division series? Just ask the Cleveland Indians. In 1999, they led 2-0 over the quote unquote lowly Boston Red Sox. And then 3 consecutive losses, and that's that. Just ask the 2001 Mariners, who won 116 games, the 07 Indians, or the 2023 Atlanta Braves, or the 2022 Atlanta Braves. I hope like hell my Vikings don't start JJ McCarthy immediately. Give him some time and just don't throw him out there to become a Joey Harrington. And am I wrong? No, but you're wrong that they're not going to start him early because they're going to start him early. Or anything with the Dodgers, 21 or 22. Dodgers are such frauds. Frauds, I say. Fill in the blank, yeah. Fill in the blank, absolutely. But the Dodgers are frauds. They're probably going to wind up making the playoffs, but they won't win the division. I said it. The biggest threat in the NFC to the 49ers is the Detroit Lions. But no, change that. Change that. The biggest threat in the NFC to the 49ers is the Washington Redskins. I'm not worried about the Lions. I'm not worried about the Packers. I get a little shiver when I look at what Washington's building. You're supposed to say no one. I'm also a realist. Happy birthday to you, my friend. We will keep you in our prayers. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And while I'm talking about frauds, the Philadelphia Eagles are a bunch of frauds. Everybody's picking the Rams to win the West Division. That's a mistake. Everybody's picking Philadelphia to host the NFC Championship. That's a bigger mistake. Matter of fact, I'll go one step further. Philadelphia won't make the playoffs. Why, you ask? Where do I start? How about Saquon Barkley? Do you really expect Saquon Barkley to be healthy for the entire year? Translation? No. Not a chance. Oh, the Cowboys are worse. Dear God, the Cowboys are going to go 3-14 and will not win a game within the division. Caleb and the Bears to the playoffs. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? Man, Caleb is going to suck so bad that after 3 years, they're going to kick him off the team. Tell him, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. They are at least winning that division. No, they're not. Because the team I got winning the division is the Washington Redskins. I don't trust Philadelphia. And on top of that, you invested your money in a running back that can only stay healthy for 10 games. And you play 17 of them. Find the lie. Find the bleeping lie. You know, and I know the Commanders ain't doing it. And what makes you so sure? Matter of fact, JJ, I really shouldn't do this because I'm running short on time, but are you still, JJ, are you still driving? No, I better not take a chance. I better not take a chance. Yeah, what Kool-Aid are you drinking? It's an all green? Because the Philadelphia Eagles are not winning that division. Let me say that again. The Philadelphia Eagles are not winning that East Division. The team that is winning that East Division is the Washington Redskins. Matter of fact, let's talk football. Here in my division. Where'd my shirt go? Hold on a minute. There it is. Oh. This is one of those times where I wish my arms were longer than they are right now, even though I have long arms. NFC East champions. These are my predictions, and you're hearing them live right here. East champions will be the Washington Redskins. North champions, the Detroit Lions. NFC South, until I see different, the NFC South goes through Tampa. NFC South goes through Tampa, and the NFC West goes through San Francisco. Matter of fact, Frisco will have the best record in the NFC. In the AFC West goes through Kansas City. The AFC North will go through Baltimore. The AFC South will go through Indianapolis, and it will be decided on the last game of the year. And the AFC East, can we just forfeit the AFC East? No, we can't. AFC East goes through Buffalo. AFC East goes through Buffalo. And they're my division champions. Again, in the NFC, Washington, Detroit. Who am I missing? Washington, Detroit, Tampa Bay, and San Francisco. In the AFC, Kansas City, Baltimore, Indianapolis, and Buffalo. Now, wild cards. Just a minute. And I got to pick 3 wild cards. JJ, you always put me on the spot, don't you? Well, I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do. Y'all really want me to pick wild cards? Okay. This is off the top of my head. AFC wild cards. Oh, hell. What am I doing? AFC wild cards, San Diego, the Jets, and Houston. But Houston could turn around and win that AFC South also. About the AFC South, whoever wins the division wins. It's a 2-horse race between the Houston Texans. I nearly said an incorrect mascot, and the Indianapolis Colts. Whoever wins that division, the loser gets the wild card. Now, NFC wild cards. The Giants, New Orleans, and Green Bay. There. Y'all heard it here. Am I going to be incredibly wrong on some of these? Yep. I expected. But the Giants, New Orleans, and Green Bay are my NFC wild cards. I'm just waiting for Jason to explode. I am waiting for Jason to go kablooey because I did not pick his Eagles to either win the East or make the wild card. It's funny. This is July, man. You know, I got to redo my picks come August. You know that. We got to do, Jason, you got to be one of my guest pickers this year. And I know you're usually a realist and battle these Philly optimists. I know you do. I've seen you do it on your program. By the way, JJ, are you doing a morning show this year? I'm just wondering, are you doing a morning show this year? And if you haven't heard JJ do sports talk, I suggest you do. It's a good time, and it's for my members. Hey! What time and how do I become a member? Damn it. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay. Now, answer my second question. All right. Scores across the board. Philly shut out the Pirates 6-0. St. Louis over Atlanta 6-2. Tampa Bay beats the Yankees 6-4. Milwaukee over Minnesota 8-7. Washington beats Cincinnati 5-2. Oakland leads the Angels 5-2. They're in the top of the 8th inning. Toronto beat Detroit 5-4. Miami over the Mets 4-2. San Diego beat Cleveland 2-1. Royals over the White Sox 4-1. And the Cubs beat Arizona 2-1. And Texas beats Baltimore 3-2. Same score, San Francisco over the Giants. Yeah, hold up. The Phillies won? What? Yeah, 6-0. 6-0. Okay. I'm starting to yawn. I think this is where I have to stop. I've been on here an hour and a half. All right, you guys. Thank you for the birthday chat. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super sticker and for the cash app that I got tonight. I appreciate that. And that's really going to lend a hand and help things out. So I'll do this every Sunday and I'll keep it to an hour, right about the same time. All right. All right. I'll see you guys later.